Morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. It's 3:42 in the morning. I'm having one of those nights where I can't sleep. But anyway, I found some. Well, I didn't find it. My friend, and she is Nixter632. There she is up there. She sent it to me, and it's come from Sassafras Boss on Tumblr and Genevieve on X. There's quite a lot. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just thinking there's an awful lot of detail in here. Some of the stuff I've heard before, some of the stuff I haven't, but the way it's written, I don't know. But it's just like, I've got to be careful now because they're talking about putting people in prison if you knowingly talk lies, or even if you don't know they're lies and they are lies. So I expect Meghan is watching me now like a hawk. So anyway, I'm just reading what came through. Right, I don't know about who didn't attend the christening. The hatred of Catherine, this is Meghan, links back to a time when Meghan got drunk while living in Kensington Palace's cottage, that's Nottingham Cottage, with Harry, and threw a large party that went on for hours. William was apparently away at the time, and Catherine was pregnant with 2 young children living close by. Catherine went down to tell her to stop the partying and the loud music. Meghan got venomous towards her, and by venomous, I mean in-her-face obscenities falling from her lips and insults right to Catherine's face. Also, Meghan did buy Catherine a set of stainless steel butcher knives and smirked that the blood wipes right off. Oh, I knew about the knives. I didn't know she said that. I don't think she would have said it in... I don't know. Meghan's a nutter. I wouldn't give somebody... Well, for a start off, you don't give knives. It's a very bad omen to give somebody because it's supposed to cut the friendship, isn't it? So I don't think it's a nice thing. But Meghan, I don't even know if she even knows these things. Anyway, Meghan also hates Pippa because she tried to worm her way into her friendship circle, Meghan into Pippa's, first through the Chelsea Society circle, but failed as Pippa is very closed off to outsiders and very protective. Harry has a well-known, weird obsession over Pippa and Catherine for a long time. Meghan is behind the Rose rumours. Remember Rose Chumley? They keep saying that William was having an affair with Rose. It was nuts. It never made any sense from the start. And this is a fact known by the family and the staff. This is another reason why most have frozen her out, and it's indeed due to Rose and Harry being together and him raving about how fit she was to everyone afterwards, while Meghan didn't get to attend. Meghan didn't believe Zara had miscarriages, and this is the big reason for why Anne, Peter, Mike, and Zara hate her guts. Basically, what was said is that Meghan didn't see how an Olympic standard equestrian could have 2 miscarriages, one after the other, and maybe it was that caused it. Good grief. The racism is a nothing burger. Basically, Charles and Camilla, alongside William and Catherine, sat down with Harry without Meghan before they married, but apparently they were engaged, and basically brought up whether he'd be able to cope with the racism in the media directed towards Meghan and their child. What I've heard is that those shotgun engagement rumours are indeed true. There was a lot of talk about a miscarriage, and it wasn't about Catherine or anyone else in the family, which is why his family brought it up, as they knew he wasn't the strongest mentally or emotionally, but what also was brought up was Harry's racism and whether he'd be able to handle a biracial child. He had commented on Senna and Tane Lewis, among others. Harry has come out with quite a few racist comments. He's been seen or pictured wearing a Nazi uniform. I've got a little tiny piece of footage where he says, Oh, there's Abdul, my little nappy-haired packy friend, something like that, when he was in uniform. So I know that to be true. And I think Harry can be a bit racist. But of course, there's none so righteous as the newly reformed, isn't it? Anyway, apparently, Meghan, this is what I'm getting from this, told everybody that she was pregnant. That's why they had to get married as quickly as they did. And apparently, between the engagement and the wedding, she had a miscarriage. So here we go. It's all about these miscarriages and how Meghan is so quick to... I know that Zara did have one miscarriage. I don't know about two. But I mean, for all we know, Catherine could have had some. One, maybe, two. You'd never know, because it's not the sort of thing you kind of put out there. It's not a bargaining chip or a badge of honour. And it doesn't... Well, while you may hope it gives you sympathy, it just causes a lot of discomfort all around, doesn't it? If somebody says to me, oh, I had a miscarriage, I'm actually lost for words. Of course I feel sad. Of course I wish they didn't have it. Of course I feel sorry. But apart from that, and saying those sort of platitudes, what else can you say? I mean, it's to me, it's a private thing to be only shared with your family, never with the public. That's just me anyway. Eugenie's engagement announcement and wedding were both pushed back to accommodate Meghan and Harry, and their wedding was pushed forward. The Queen apparently wanted a toned-down wedding because Meghan was a divorcee and she was pregnant out of wedlock. But then suddenly they were accommodating almost anything she wanted, to which I've heard is because she cried wolf over a miscarriage, saying they were the family she'd never had, and really manipulating them as well. The Queen and others were strong and smart in the institutional way because they are a strong and supportive family. She did bring up non-stop questions about Philip's Nazi in-laws, which irked him. God, how rude. How rude. I mean, this is tactless. This is not any tact. I mean, good God, Philip was a wonderful husband to the Queen, and he did his duties, and he did everything that was required of him. Whatever went on behind the scenes between the pair of them, which I don't think anything did happen, but there's talk about him having affairs. So sometimes these things happen, but they are kept very discreet, and I never really knew of any that I knew of anyway. And I prefer to think, no, it didn't happen, that they had a love story. I think they did. Anyway, you wouldn't talk to... I've got more right to talk to Prince Philip than Meghan, being a British citizen or a subject. And if I was ever lucky enough to be in a garden party, Meghan is no relation. She's only married in, which is, yeah, that's good, and when you have children. But to talk about somebody's Nazi past when there's still a very, very awkward, delicate balance between the Nazis, especially during and after the Second World War, isn't it? Which irked him and the Queen and the others massively, I'm not surprised. Meghan wanted the Vladimir tiara, but that's not how it usually works. But not how it usually looks. Basically, she wanted to take the emeralds out of it and place those emeralds into the lover's knot tiara, but she was told no, because the lover's knot tiara, which Diana used to wear a lot, is the one with you've got pearls in it, and you've also got emeralds in it. If you remember, you can change the emeralds for pearls. It's a nice, lovely tiara. She wanted to take the emeralds out of the Vladimir tiara and put those emeralds into the lover's knot, which she was... I don't know now whether... I thought the lover's knot already had emeralds to fit in there. But she was told no, because it was on a lifetime loan to Catherine, and that its current frame is fitted to Catherine's head shape. Whew. That Givenchy anonymous story that was going round, That is basically all true. Meghan hated Charlotte with vengeance, but also she hated Mia Tyndall and later Lena, because like Louis, dared to be born in 2018. She hated family members bringing children to events or any family gatherings. Now, I think that people that have got a real hang-up and can hate little children have got, it's one of two problems, isn't it? I think that if you're, I hate the word, but I'm going to say it, barren. If you're barren, some people can't bear to see children because it upsets them, and I do understand that. If somebody's had a genuine miscarriage, but that's okay, they can stay away until they feel a little better. But she hated anybody that took the glory of 2018 away from her, basically, isn't it? So she supposedly now, if this is true, had a miscarriage between her engagement and her wedding, and then go up to October when Eugenie got married, and she was pregnant again there. So hang on a minute now. We've got a geriatric expectant mother. They call them geriatric because that's what they are in pregnancy terms. She's had a miscarriage, a pregnancy, a miscarriage, a pregnancy, and all within about 2 years. At the age of, 39. That's 4 pregnancies in 2 years when you've got less than 25% of your ovulation. It just, it's a miracle. But then again, Meghan is Meghan, isn't it? Anyway, Meghan kept calling Louis Lewis instead of Louis pronunciation because she was jealous of him. Apparently, Louis was also the name that she, more so Harry, had approached the Queen and Philip about using for their unborn child. Doria never got anything. I don't know what they mean by that. Jessica Mulroney kept pestering the courtiers and royal staffers, to which they ended up blocking her from further communication. Oh, can you imagine that? Can you imagine suddenly having a telephone line because your bestie is in the palace? So you can now ring the palace, because I think Jessica's job was Meghan's dresser. That's what she got the job as. Her stylist. She used to bring the clothes over from Canada, and they'd be samples. This is why they didn't fit properly. Now, this is all stuff that I covered 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. She would bring samples over because she'd go to the Canadians over there and say, I'm dressing Princess Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, I expect she said, and I want the dresses for nothing. And I don't know if she took them back after. But anyway, Charles was billed for the full amount for every dress, and he paid it. That's why her dress bill was so high. And Jessica Mulroney was ringing the palace all the time. And every time she brought the clothes over, they did never fit right, and they were never refitted. She didn't have a proper dresser to maybe put some tacks in and some stitches and to make it look tidy. Meghan's dresses, I remember when she went to the Lion King premiere. It was rather a nice dress. She has dresses with waists, a waisted dress, because she hasn't got a waist, so I can understand that. And it was black silk, heavy silk, with sort of a gauze or net, chiffon arms, and half the back and the front, the top half. The cleavage part was like net. And if you look close at some of the pictures, this is where she met Beyonce and Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z. And Beyonce was in maybe a gold dress, droopy and drapey. And she met Bob Iger of The Lion King, collected a 3 million check. Elton John was there. Remember that night? And she had the diamond earrings on with a big black in the middle. And she had Aquasusa shoes on. I remember that. But the dress had laddered, all the gauzy stuff at the top had pulled because it was too small for her, and it had kind of laddered and stretched. Oh, it looked terrible. I could see it. But I mean, she wasn't that big. I mean, it wasn't like if I go to buy a dress that I like, invariably I can't have it because it doesn't go up to my size. Meghan doesn't have that problem. She's not as fat as me. She must be able to get the right size, but obviously she misjudged her size. But anyway, nobody knew. So Jessica Mulroney got blocked from further communication. That little by little, the palace soon picked up on what was going on, I think. And let's be honest, if you've got somebody that says, oh, I've got to get married, I'm pregnant, and Harry being Harry, not the sharpest knife in the box, is he? Arranged it all, and then she has a miscarriage. It's so easy to lie, but doesn't it cheapen it for everybody else? You know, I believe Zara, and I don't believe Meghan. Why is that, I wonder? Why did Piers Morgan not believe her? Why do people not believe her? It could be us. It could be all of us are being just unfair. And just because she's got the unfortunate face that she was born with, we are blaming her for not looking honest. That could be. But I very, very much doubt it. I very much doubt it because there's something about her and you know what they say about trusting your gut feeling. You know, just trust your gut feeling. Nobody knew Meghan was pregnant when she announced in 2018 with Archie. Everyone literally found out when she posted on the Instagram account in the middle of the night in UK, but a good time in California. Nobody got to ask about medical provisions, as the staffers wanted to help arrange the appropriate procedures for her with the Queen's medical team. But she didn't take them up, and Harry didn't know basic things about the pregnancy when asked by family and staff. This is a very strong case for a surrogate being used, as it was noted that Meghan ate unsafe food, travelled to unsafe places. That's when she went to the Antipodes, Australia, Tonga, where the Zika virus was around. You remember that? Oh, terrible. Zika virus was that one where the babies were born with their brains missing, or it looked like they were missing. It's just a Zika virus, was it? You know what I mean. She did unsafe activities and she drank alcohol and she got basic information wrong about her pregnancy when asked, a bit like Harry. Nobody has seen him or Lily. They were not in the UK for the Jubilee or any other time. The Queen did not visit them at Frogmore Cottage. This is credit Sassafras Boss on Tumblr and is from Nixter632 on X. And then Nixter said to me, read this first. Wait there. Oh, I should have read this first. Anonymous. So as the daughter of a former courtier, I have some information of such to share what Meghan wants. This wasn't just about the wedding, as when Harry proposed, he proposed with a basic ring, and Meghan wanted something more bling, so to speak, and alongside Harry, approached the Queen and basically demanded that she have the centre emerald of the choker necklace placed into a diamond pave ring alongside two other large diamonds from the royal collection, which I've heard were from the Victorian or Georgian era. When the Queen said no, Meghan got venomous. And this is the reason why the Queen said she was evil. When they couldn't get any further, they apparently approached Earl Spencer to have him hand over diamonds from the Spencer tiara to place into the Vladimir tiara, which he denied. There she is there with a dog collar round her neck and her hair in bunches. Oh, isn't she just sex appeal on legs? Hustlers there counting their money. Oh, there's proof she was Karina Shuliak and Jeffrey Epstein. There's Karina Shuliak on a yacht with Meghan Markle and not Ninaki Pretty, Misha Nunu. There we are. The fake dentist, Karina Shuliak. She was a yacht girl. Stanley J. Pottinger's ex. So Harry says he's going to sue anyone who talks about his wife's yachting past and her past with Prince Andrew. I hope he has deep pockets. Incidentally, that's not Meghan Markle in that picture. That's not her in those shorts. Anyway, these go back to February 2016 from Adam Horn. Meghan Markle, any chance you'd be in the market looking to join my friends and I for Yacht Week in Croatia, 25th of August to the 3rd of September. Adam Horn, I get it. You are busy with life. I'll let you take your time on your decision. That's it. Meghan Markle suits USA. Meg, please put too much details in about suits. I'm not watching. By the way, please come to Yacht Week. Oh, look at that. That was Annie's dinner. It was doner kebab. I didn't have that. She said she couldn't eat it. It was too fatty. In fact, she even got a rebate. Yeah, we'll turn over quick from that. Anyway, Bangladesh, Pakistan. The good news is they've got a new or a stand-in Prime Minister. The other lady, she left the chaos and she did a runner. But he's a Nobel laureate. What's his name now? I can't remember. But they needed somebody desperately. There we are. Mohammed Yunus sworn in as head of Bangladesh interim government. He's 84. He looks really good for it. And he's a Nobel laureate. Let's hope that everything now is pulled into law and order, because I can't bear the thought. The peaceful religions of the world is Buddhism and Hinduism. And Sufism and Zoroastrianism, which Freddie Mercury was a Zoroastrian. There's a lot of peaceful, and the whirling dervishes, remember those? All sorts of religions that come over from the East. You don't hear of the smaller ones, but they're very peaceful religions, and the thought of anybody going around with machetes and things like that is just unthinkable. And the Indian race, I find some of the nicest people I've ever met. And to think of them being hounded and killed, it goes through me. Obviously, my country as well comes first, but I still don't. If I could maybe change religions myself, I would go Buddhist. I could. Well, actually, it's easy. You don't even have to change. I wouldn't have to change at all. Maybe they'd like me to stop smoking, but I don't think they'd kick me out for smoking. And I don't really drink that much. But apart from that, the only rules, are don't harm any living thing, don't take anything that isn't given, and follow the Noble Eightfold Path, which is just like the Ten Commandments, only a bit looser. Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Tina Turner was a Buddhist, but she was a Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist, and I didn't really like that type. There's, I think there's about 70 or 80 different branches of Buddhism. Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism is for the rich people, because with Nichiren Shoshu, all you had to do was say Nam Myoho Renge Kwo, which is, in English, that is homage to the Lotus Sutra. So you say, homage to the Lotus Sutra, please give me a new Porsche, or please get me an invite to the Emmys or the Oscars. Those sort of things. Selfish, self-serving, greedy wants, people, which to me goes against everything a religion should be about. But that was Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism. It was a kind of a demanding, a very selfish part of the Buddhism. But of course, then there's the other sides of Buddhism, from which Siddhartha Gautama, he was the founder of Buddhism, and from which he came, and it's completely different. But some parts of Buddhism are a little bit, selfish, I think, like that one, for instance, Nam Myoho Renge Kwo, I'd like a new Porsche. Yeah, if you're going to get one, you're going to get one. You shouldn't be asking for it. Anyway, that's that. And then I wanted to say to you that, I can't help myself just lately. I've just been all over the place looking at the political situation. Now, earlier on tonight, I watched the Trump rally. I don't know which one it was, Well, I don't know when it was, but I know it was the one in Florida, Palm Beach, I think it was. And I watched it earlier on tonight and I thought, it's the first time I've seen President Trump this year, in this year's rally, looking more serious and looking a little bit more worried. I mean, he came back from the assassination attempt and he was buzzing, wasn't he? He was up and down jumping. But he was more pensive tonight, or when he did this. I thought he was anyway. And he basically laid it all out for people and he said, if we carry on the way we're going, you know, America, it's going to be ruined. And he said things, I can't even remember what he said, but I will say that it was almost identical to UK. It was unbelievable, actually. He was on about the uncontrolled migrants that come over and we don't know who they are and we don't know where they come from and we don't know their proper names because they destroy all their papers on purpose because they don't want us to know they got a criminal record for murder or whatever. And this is what's happening. But of course, in UK, we've had 1 million come over a year, and in United States, it's 10 million a year. I'm not very good at the figures. I'm not very good at all, but somewhere along those lines. And it seems to me as though right now, at this moment, America and UK are on the same trajectory. I know that Sweden is taking very strict action to save themselves. Germany is dismantling or knocking down the mosques. You can't keep being polite with these people. It's no point at all. They don't react to kindness and manners because they've been brought up in a different way from us. That's the thing, you see. Even though I've run a parlour, I've done some bad things in my life. I know what good manners are. I know how to hold a knife and fork. I know how to not leave the table or not start eating until my mother would sit down, you know. I know all the ways to behave the right way. If I have to meet the Queen, I would definitely not put a foot wrong. But these people don't know. And how can you ever teach people if they don't want to be taught? Because their religion allows them to be savage in the name of Muhammad. They'll get praise in the next life. And another thing that bothers me is if there is another life, do we have to make them again? I'm not fussy on that myself. I'd rather pass it. How many heavens are there? I've no idea. Where do we go after here? Does this mean now that because we don't like our country infiltrated, does that make us selfish? Does that mean we'll be punished in the afterlife? And the people that ram planes into buildings are going to go to nirvana while we're wallowing in hell because we were rude to them? I don't know. All I know is I got to trust my gut feeling. And I do trust my gut feeling. And I don't care if Harry sues me. She was a yacht girl. And I don't care if they put me in prison for saying the things I'm saying. I am saying them. I'm 68. Oh, mind you, I say that. They did actually, they put a 68-year-old man in prison for 2 years today because he posted, no, he went to a rally or something. Not a rally, a bloody riot. And he, I don't know, he got caught in the middle of it. I don't think he was fighting, he was 68. But anyway, he's gone to prison for 2 years. And I thought, I'm not going to go to a riot, I won't, but I will use social media and I will speak my mind. I think we're okay at the moment. I thank God for President Trump. I know I may get some people hating me because I'm taking a political favourite, but at the moment I'm looking at Kamala Harris and that smile's gone off her face. She's getting quite angry now. And I believe Donald Trump when he said that even though he obviously was Joe Biden's enemy, he said that he should have had the right to give up his presidency, not have it taken from him. Well, you know what? Come on. his wife, I blame his wife for this because she was so greedy for her job as First Lady. She did not want him to stop being president. And let's be honest, now come on, facts are facts. He could not string a sentence together. And I feel so sorry. My brother's got dementia. I hate to see it. And it was torturous for me. I would laugh, but it would be like an embarrassed laugh because I thought if that was my father, and if I was Jill Biden, I would be ashamed of myself for putting someone I love in a position like that, embarrassing position. So by rights, he should have gone. Well, apparently he didn't want to go, so they made him go. And Donald Trump said he should have had the right to run for the next election. Well, I don't know. It was a health and safety issue there, wasn't it, I think? Anyway, apparently, Harry and Meghan, they're facing tension as he is struggling to fill his days. And he's sacrificed his friendship with several old friends. And he's been battling boredom. Now, I can honestly say I don't have his house. I don't have his money. I don't have his position in the world. But I'm never bored. I am never, ever, ever bored. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I got a brain. My brain isn't big enough to want to be filled more. I'm not quite sure. But how can Harry be bored? How can he be bored? Apparently her jam is made from homemade strawberries. She must be getting another batch together ready for the big launch that is now coming in February because she can't seem to get the money together to get the stock together, which is great news for me. It shows that Charles and William are not being stupid with the money. And she's mad apparently because she can't get her sticky fingers into the Duchy of Cornwall. I can't believe it. Now, that Duchy of Cornwall is owned by the Crown, which is owned by the people, and it makes, I mean, it's obviously a huge piece of Cornwall, real estate, properties, etc. But the royal family have got it in such a way, they don't just sit on it and think, oh, look at me and my land. They make it work for them. They charge rent to their tenants. They use Highgrove to grow the strawberries for the jam that they sell in the shop. That goes to the charities or the Royal Foundation. Charles doesn't make a penny. So he uses the Duchy of Cornwall to pay for itself, you know, all the costs that it pays tax on it, and then the leftovers is going to charities. Maybe it goes into the Royal Foundation and is given out that way. I don't know. I know that the Royal Foundation gave quite a lot of money to the Invictus Games. I think that was stupid of them, but then again, they're scrounging round for more money now for the Invictus Games, which tells me that the Invictus Games is running short of money, which shouldn't be happening, should it? Anyway, he dearly misses many things in the UK. He's bored of his new life, without his nearest and dearest to help expand. Harry is increasingly bored and looking back across the Atlantic where most of his army and school friends still live, and whom he never sees because they won't visit him in the States because they find Meghan difficult. They are finding it difficult to get through the days and weeks of not having much to do. Meghan is hugely driven, but she can hardly blame him for not being a commercial whiz-kid, as he has only ever been trained to be a royal. So Harry doesn't really have much to do on a day-to-day basis. Well, Harry, listen. What you've got to do is this, mate. You're a young, fit boy. You're still only 39, coming up 40. Go down to the garden centre and buy yourself a spade, a fork, a trowel, some hand tools, and those Dutch hoes, and trim your garden. You know, edge your lawns and do that. And then get up there and start your own vegetable patch. That'll give you a lot of pleasure. That's what I would do if I was you. Try and grow strawberries in that sand. Try and grow them. Have a go. You might be able to grow strawberries and raspberries and cucumbers and all sorts of things. That'll give you a lot of pride. And your father'd be so proud of you, wouldn't he? Maybe you can start a bee farm, a bee aviary or something, and make some honey, and then you can be in competition with your father. Stop sitting on your ass and feeling sorry for yourself, because you've got nothing to feel sorry for yourself about. Everything you've done and the position that you find yourself in now is all of your own making, and you're old enough to know better. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. And if you want to sue people that call your wife a yacht girl, sue me. She was a yacht girl. I've seen the tweets. They're good enough for me to believe. Sue me, sue me. I got no money, so I probably won't bother because I'm worth nothing, which is a good way to be. It's incredibly liberating when you've got nothing to lose. So come for me, Harry. Here I am. Your wife was a yacht girl, and we all know what a yacht girl was. And if you're bored over there in Santa Monica, well, shame on you. If you can't find something out there in America to amuse yourself with, there's something wrong with you. He doesn't have much to do. He went on to say, after Harry's taken the dog for a walk and maybe gone for a drive, he has nothing to do other than support Meghan. Meghan, on the other hand, needs someone who has serious determination to succeed in the world. And this has led to huge tension. Meghan in particular has been extremely busy in recent months launching her own lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, and filming her upcoming Netflix series, which will showcase some of her own culinary flair. Well, there's your answer. Look, the writing's on the wall. She's launching American Riviera Orchard. She needs produce to make the jam, to sell in her American Riviera Orchard. Get out there, Harry. Make the vegetables or grow the vegetables and the fruit to make the jam and the chutney. And then go and do your polo to make your Netflix. It's going to be a ready flop. But it's okay, because you can placate yourself with some jam sandwiches after. Oh, I've had enough of these two. Honestly, they really are super, super high maintenance, high mileage, expensive windbags full of hot air. Absolutely nothing important about them at all. They live 5,500 miles away from their former... Thank God for that. Anyway, that's all I got to say right now. I don't know how long I've been... 36, that's good enough, isn't it? I don't want to bore you to tears. But that's just the gossip going around at the moment. And I think that when I hear it twice, or when I hear it 3 times, from different sources, I tend to think, well, hang on a minute, there's a different way of telling, but it's the same. The knife thing, I've heard that 3 times. And I never heard about the pregnancy, though, but it doesn't surprise me. But now that means 2 miscarriages and 2 pregnancies inside 3 years. That's some woman, isn't it? Eh? She's Superwoman. One day the truth will come out. One day Prince Charles or somebody will tell the truth. I don't know how, when and how, but I know that if Meghan ever went to a doctor could tell straight away how many children she had had. Usually they can tell how many. They certainly know if you've had children or not by an internal examination. I know that much. So, and also, I know that DNA can tell you where a child comes from. So maybe Meghan has tied herself up in so many lies now that she's afraid to go to the doctor, she's afraid to bring Archie out, she's afraid to bring Lilibet out. They blame security for coming to the UK. But could it be something more than that? I just wonder sometimes. Anyway, I'll see you definitely within 2 days, day after tomorrow. Definitely. Thank you very much for listening and spending the time with me. I'm not monetized now, and I find it extremely liberating. I don't want to be monetized because I don't want to go through all that mess again. I prefer no adverts and not beholden to YouTube. But if they take me down, I won't care either. I'll come back. I will, I promise you. It was when I was monetized it hurt, but it doesn't hurt me now because I'm used to living without it. Thanks for listening. See you soon. Cheerio!